Okay, well this is a passenger ride in the Renaultsport Clio 220 Trophy. So let's start the engine. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, when this car came out in 2013, that's the standard Renault Clio Sport 200, it was a bit of a shock really because it was turbocharged, and Renault also decided to go with a flappy paddle automatic gearbox in place of the traditional manual. So a few fans perhaps thought it was a little bit less involving, but Renault Sport's come back, and this special edition Trophy obviously has more power. It's got a bigger turbo, and there's quite a few changes really. It's got a freer flowing exhaust, it's got a different air intake, the suspension's stiffer, it's on Michelin tyres, particularly grippy super sports ones, and they've also importantly sharpened up the gearbox, but at the moment we're just in automatic. Now, one thing I found with this car is that hot hatches, traditionally you sort of jump in them and you just go, and that's great, but with this Clio, when it's in automatic and you just kind of get in, it's really designed for kind of just pootling around town. So initially it doesn't really feel that quick or that special, and the gear changes are a little bit slow. But then there's this magic RS button down here, and it's got two stages. So first you go into sport, and that changes the exhaust sound, means that the gear changes are a little bit higher in the ref range, and also the speed of the gear shift goes from, I think it's 180 down to 160 milliseconds, and you can push the gear stick across, and then that gives you manual shift mode. So you can see drop a gear there, and it's pretty quick. But if you really want to enjoy this car how it was intended, then you need to know that if you press this RS button down for 5 seconds, then you can see here we're now in race mode, which comes up on the infotainment system. And rather strangely, I think it's a little bit of an odd decision from Renault, but it also turns off all of the driver aids, so no more stability control or traction control. So you do have to be aware of that. But once you're in race mode, the gear shifts are even quicker, so they're 140 milliseconds now. And not only that, but it's also fully manual. So whereas the car normally starts to creep if you're just at, coming out parking and you got it in drive, it'll creep forwards a little bit. In race it doesn't do that, and it also won't change gear at all. So if you're in a high gear and you put the accelerator down, sometimes cars will kick down for you. Well, this one won't. And also you can rev it and it won't change up for you automatically. So you hear that? So you can hit the limiter and you get a beep where the car's telling you that you really need to change gear. So once you're in race mode, things get a lot more exciting, as you can probably hear. The exhaust does sound pretty cool actually. This is quite a quiet car most of the time with it being turbocharged, but once you got that race mode, things are a bit more exciting. It's probably still not quite as involving as the Fiesta ST, but there's no denying this is a quick car. Here we go, got a nice S-bend. And yeah, there's certainly plenty of grip, that's for sure. And on track, I can imagine this car would really keep up with some quite expensive machinery. Alright, so that's a quick review of the Trophy 220. So make sure you check back for our full car keys review.